G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. It is an absolute pleasure to be bringing you this video today because it's a little bit special. We'll get into it in a little bit, but let's introduce our players. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in on the south side of the map in the color orange, representing Team 3D, playing as the Chinese, it is B. And on the north side of the map, in the color blue, playing as the French, we've got Battering. Ladies and gentlemen, he's also playing blue. Welcome to Dry Arabia. We are here as part, or in conjunction with EGC TV and the Elite Classic. Now, of course, the Elite Classic will be happening this weekend. Make sure you check it out because we have got ourselves an insane weekend with plenty of content. Now, you might be wondering, Drongo, you sort of alluded to something a little bit earlier. What exactly? Hold on, geez, what's going on here? There we go. You sort of alluded to something going on a little bit earlier, Drongo. What's that all about? So let's just start off with a little bit of split screen action and see how these two guys are doing. But you might notice my voice is a little bit raspy. I'm happy to tell you guys I've just finished recording and producing our newest song, which is going to be in support of caster mode. That's correct. And it's been a long time since I've done a song for Age of Empires. You might not even know that I do them. I used to do them all the time back when I did Age of Empires 3, but I kind of stopped doing them when I grew older and maturer. I think, is that even a word, maturer? Yeah, essentially, the last one I did was Christmas for 2022. So that was more than a year ago. And this one, I'm going to show you guys, or going to give you guys just a little bit of a sneak peek. I'm kind of scared that I'm going to get DMCA'd because it is a parody. But they don't care that it's a parody. They're just like, hold on, that's 6 seconds of a song I know. Get out of here. Anyway, this is it. I'm just going to give you a little bit, all right? All right, get ready. Here it comes. I have been working systems and I dream each night of some version that's new that might show my income and stockpile too. Now you're buggy. Oh man, I just want to play the whole thing. Oh, I love it, man. I tell you what, so let's get into it. I've recently bought like a Mac because I'm going to be doing some traveling soon, and I figured I'll buy a MacBook just because, well, I'm in the ecosystem, and when you're in the ecosystem, it just makes it easier. And I've been using Logic, and oh my god, dude, it is so amazing. Like the pitch correction, the auto tune stuff, it's so easy to use. You can just like click on individual notes and be like, okay, I'm going to just change the vibrato of this note, move the pitch up slightly. It's incredible. It is wow. It's easy to use. I'll put it that way. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the game because we're 3 minutes into the game, and unfortunately B has not found a huge amount of sheep. We can see him only dropping off 4 sheep there. He did also spot the enemy scout around the back of the base, and there's nothing worse than that. Now it does look like Battering is just going to be going for a single scout opening here, not going to be a double scout opening, but he's already done a drop off by the looks of it. So he's already off to a pretty good start here. One of the key things in these early games is going to be getting all of those sheep and trying your best to get as many as you can, because not only do you not deny it from your opponent, but you also get to keep it yourself. Age Up is through on the other side, 3 minutes 19, pretty early here. We see that immediate rally out towards the mill. Now, this is a great matchup. I love this matchup. I talk about it plenty of times. We've seen it a lot on the channel, and I mean, there's a reason that we cast these games. It's because these matchups typically are so incredibly explosive. And there's a number of ways that they can go. They can look for early aggression out of the French player, or the French player can just look to try and dabble with a knight or two, and then look to go into the second TC. That's normally the most common thing that you'll see. Sometimes you do even see 3 TCs coming out of the French in this matchup, and pretty much just a straight shot to Imperial. But it can be difficult playing up against the Chinese in the Imperial age, so that's something that you always need to be careful of. But have a look at this. We've got three sheep up here on the top side. Now, let's compare that to Battering, because Battering's sitting outside the base, and have a look at this. He's got 6 sheep, but the Age Up's now through. It's going to be an early night that comes through. Wheelbarrow also going to be on the way for Battering, so I would be suspecting it's probably going to be a second TC, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to see exactly if that's going to be happening. So, anyway, this weekend, 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have EGC TV's Elite Classic. It's going to be live over on Twitch. I want you to come over there. I'm going to leave a link in the description. I want you to set a timer, a reminder, an alarm, whatever it is that you do. 15 GMT, okay? So type that into Google. Get yourself something to drink. If I could recommend something to drink, I've just finished a Red Bull. It's 2 a.m. As I said, I've just finished recording and producing it. Man, I was having so much fun. Oh, I'm looking forward to releasing that song. Just, because for me, obviously we've got caster mode for 1v1. And look, when it comes to caster mode for 1v1, there's some cool things that you can do. There's some cool things that, you know, we still can't do just yet. And you might be wondering, okay, what can't we do just yet? Well, yeah, we can't do that. But I can do that. But, I mean, to be honest, though, there's still quite a lot of things that we'd like added to the 1v1 caster mode. I'm not too fussed about it. For me, it's mainly about the FFA caster mode. I want to be casting FFA games, and I want to make sure that it's a pleasurable experience. And that's what that song is about. It is about, I don't know if you heard the lyrics in there, but there's some powerful lyrics in there. And to be honest, I love that song. It's a TikTok song. Or at least, I don't know if that's the right way, or the best way to call it, but I was looking into the song and everything. But yeah, originally, it was only the guy who wrote the song only did like 20 or 30 seconds of it or something, posted it up online, and it just popped off. And he's like, all right, I guess I'm going to make a song out of that, and then did the whole thing. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it. It's called Stick Season. So go give it a listen. Tell me what you think. It's actually been out for quite some time, but I think it's only getting popular in Australia right now, which is how I heard it. You know how Spotify is with Spotify. It's like, hey, you might like this. And it's like, hey, I do like that. That's what happened. Spotify just knows. They're good, man. Those algorithms are good. They know what you want. Anyway, second town center is coming up on that top side for Battering. We can see he's already got the resources for it, or at least all the stone for it. 6 minutes and 15. Not a bad little timing for him to be dropping this bad boy down. Going to be throwing it up here on the deer, we can suspect. Battering, don't make me a liar. Or is he going to go out to this one? Actually, this one's a pretty decent spot because you can lure that boar. Oh, it's a bit far away. But let's see. He's bringing everybody. He's bringing the truck. He's bringing the trailer. Let's check in with B, though. I want to see, because B's had the scout out. He knows what his opponent is up to. He knows that he's going for that second TC. But still, we see him opting for the barracks here. And I think this is just such a smart move. He knows he can't take stone until he's got this barracks up. And this is a really, really smart flex. Just because you could have thrown down this Barbican on the stone. Oh, villager going to go down here. A little bit of a mistake there from B early on. Just mis-macroing the villagers. Just allocating too many villagers to wood and not paying attention, because they will spread out like this. You can individually micro them to get them onto those trees that are closer in, but they just have the desire, the propensity to move out and around. If you've ever moved like 40 vills over onto a wood line, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it looks like Battering will now be throwing down that second TC. Interestingly, not going to be going for a third TC. I feel like you could probably do that here, but I guess playing as the French, going for a third TC, I wouldn't necessarily say it's superfluous, but you're already doing pretty well, right? Because remember that while the French don't have Song Dynasty, they do still train their villagers very quickly. So you're not really falling that far behind by not having... Oh my god, I didn't mean to click on that relic. That kind of scared me. You're not falling that far behind by not having that third TC and just staying on 2 TCs. You're definitely, compared to any other civilization, you're going to be A-okay. I think maybe with the exception of like the Japanese, if they go for the fast castle and then throw the Yoroshiros through, but that's not very common, and normally it's only going to be the 1 TC anyway for them. So I think Battering's going to be absolutely fine when it comes to the economy in the late game, so we can check that one off, and we can see the villager count now going to be evening out here. Keep in mind, he does have that 1 worker kill. Got a couple of knights still moving around here. Where does he go from here? Is it just going to be into castle? Can we check on the upgrades? He's got all 4 eco upgrades coming through. I'm assuming he's got his forestry as well. It's going to be a second stable. Already got the range coming down. The single archery range does make sense, but the extra stable makes me think he might be planning to stay a little bit longer here. Have a look at this, though. Plenty of spears. These are going to get spotted out by Battering, and I think he's probably going to have to... Oh, he's going to try. He's going to try. Not going to be able to find it. Wonderful micro coming in from B. I don't know why B's name is now Beal? Ali McBeal? Ali McBeal? But anyway... I'm not sure why that is, but I'm just going to call him B, because that's what I called him. It's one of those things. I remember when, anyway, I was going to bring up like an old anecdote, and it's just like, well, that's what I've called it for a long time. That's what I've called B for a long time. I'm just going to call him B. It's kind of like with Salami. Remember when Salami changed his name to Corvinus? You know, you're still Salami in my heart, whether you like it or not. You're just a big, round, cylindrical... Sorry, I see why you changed the name. Corvinus is a lot less phallus invoking. Invoking? Anyway, look, it's late at night, 2:15 in the morning here. As I said, I got my Red Bull. I've been yapping all day. I've been singing all day, and can I be honest? It's kind of tough singing, especially that song. Like that song is definitely not a close match to my voice. You know, something closer to my voice would be like something deep. You know, those baritones. Those what am I thinking? You know, the Christmas songs that I was going to say David Bowie does. No, what's his name? You know the one I'm thinking of. The guy that your mum's in love with. You know, the real deep voice. Hey there, girls. Oh, no, it's nowhere near where it should be. Oh, what's his name? Dude, if I sing the song, I'll get DMCA'd, but I will remember his name. I don't want blood for Christmas. Sorry. Okay, it will come to me. It will come to me. I can't remember. Dude, I can't remember. Man, there's nothing more annoying than having something on the tip of your tongue and not being able to remember it like that. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more annoying than that. But for me, as a person in the first world, not too many issues. Like, that's definitely up there on the list. Like, number one, I ran out of cereal. Now I have to get my second preference for breakfast. It's toast. And then number two, can't remember that song. No, can't remember the singer of that song that I know. Anyway, we got the age up now starting to come through from B. I like this age up timing here. This is kind of bold, though. Normally, one of the big rules that I follow, and one that I often talk about over on Patreon, which, if you'd like to check out, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to improve. There's plenty of coaching content over there. But one of the things that I often talk about is when you're playing the Chinese especially, you have to wait for your opponent to go castle before you can go castle. And if you don't do that, you're at risk. Now, B's done a pretty decent job here scouting. But one of the things that he notices is there are walls up. And anytime there's walls up, that is a pretty good indicator that your opponent doesn't really want to make lots and lots of units. Because you've got to be really careful of that, especially if the opponent is denying scouts. So if you're tracking where your opponent's scout is, and you're just keeping them back with either knights or a couple of archers or something like that, you have to be really, really careful about how you play into that, just because you don't know. And there is a really good chance that you'll die if you don't make lots and lots and lots of units after your opponent's gone for a 2TC and then follows it up with units themselves. But Royal Institute going to be coming through here for Battering. He moves straight into Royal Bloodlines. And I find this a bit interesting because this is one of those things where Royal Bloodlines really make sense if you've spent a decent amount of time in the Feudal Age and got that number of Royal Knights built up. I feel like aging up this early with still such a small economy, only, you know, he aged up with less than 60 vills, that it would have made sense to go for the Guild Hall. Because, to be honest, like, this game is just going to go, these guys are just going to go straight to Imperial. I don't think we're going to see too much fighting here in the Castle Age, just naturally because we've got walls coming up on both sides. And the Chinese especially, if they can go Imperial, they will go Imperial. And Baotun, knowing that, is naturally just going to say, okay, well, I need to try and get up a little bit before. He can look to try and take map control especially. So there's some really good spots out here for the Red Palace. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see it over here on the Gold or down here on the Sacred Site. This is really, really good. So we'll have to keep that in mind as we move forward. But the numbers are beginning to build here for B on that south side of the map. Up towards the top side, Wolves are out in force here. Villager count slightly in advantage. Or slightly in advantage? There's a slight advantage there for B at the moment, but I'm kind of wondering how much of that is villagers and how much of that is Imperial officials. I'm not sure whether they count, but I'd have to double check. But Crossbow's now starting to also come out here. He's up to 3 crossbows, 13 spears, which is decent. But that Royal Bloodline upgrade comes through. Will be spotted out by B. Undoubtedly, he's going to be a little bit scared. One of the most important things against the French as the Chinese is making sure you've got enough spears. Because if you don't have enough spears, you'll lose. So many games I've lost. I remember I played a game against Louis MT, and he was just making only Royal Knights. And I just, you know, I had slightly not enough spears, and that was it. You know, I should have just been making only spear and crossbow. I think I was making spears and palace guards, just mixing in a couple, just, you know, in case. Nope, big mistake. Because that French Castle Age, once you've got that Royal Bloodlines online, they do not mess around. There's a lot of value that you get from that technology. But now have a look at this. He's coming out. Look at Battering. He is just on the hunt. He knows that the Relic's there. He's seen it drop off the mini-map, and he says, okay, I know that your Monk is going to be around there. So, what does he do? He takes it out. Very smart move. Let's check in with B, though, and see how he's doing. B, with a lot of villagers now on wood, will begin to have a look at the income 14 minutes into this game. A little bit of an idle Imperial official here, even though technically it is supervising. It's not supervising any active villagers. So we always want to be careful with that. But now we've got the farm transition coming in. This is a great timing on the farm transition. Something that I've learned recently is, I think the difference between, say, a Conqueror 3 and a Conqueror 4 player is getting that farm transition timing in at the perfect time. Because one of the worst things you can do is leave yourself open with no food income right as you're going to need it. And this is exactly the time right now, because he's spamming out units. He's making sure that he's got enough to defend against these Royal Knights. And so if he was not to have enough, you know, if the berries were to run out or he didn't have access to any other food source, it would be really tough for him to get that big transfer over of villagers. But it's definitely starting to look good here. He's got a nice little layout and plenty of space in the back of the base. There is nothing better as a Chinese player to have this much space to build your farms. This is encouraging. Let's just put it that way. Looking to try and pick up that relic. B, not going to be able to deny the Monk for the moment. I suspect he may have to concede this one, though. The numbers are looking pretty good for Battering. Keep in mind, a lot of Royal Knights there. Even though the military numbers are in advantage of B, we do have the one difference being that those Royal Knights are absolutely upgraded out the wazoo. When it comes to upgrades for the spears, we do see that +2 ranged armor has come through. Whereas compared for that Royal Knight, got a couple of upgrades in, but nothing too fancy. Just some Royal Bloodlines. Knights now coming through, making their way onto the front. Going to get that charge. Going to pick up that extra little bit of damage as well. It's going to last them for about 2 or 3 hits. Archers on the back going to be teeing off, and I think he's realized that's maybe a little bit too many spears. I might need to try and kite out here. Not a lot of archers, though. I will say that much. Could look for a Wallalol here. Actually, yeah, he does have the ability to throw the Wallalol down. A couple of sheep over here that just never got picked up. You hate to see it. Especially when sheep are so damn important in that early game. No, won't be able to find the Wallalol now. I think the units are probably too close. Oh, nice little picks coming off here. Have a look at this. He's trying his best to keep this Monk alive. But it does look like Baltoon will be able to secure up that relic. That's going to give him a 3-2 relic advantage. Definitely nice going into this mid-game. And now the Royal Knights going to be realizing that the nest of bees is on the field. Why can't I hear the nest of bees firing off? I didn't hear the... Was it because I wasn't on the position or the spectator perspective of B? And you have to be if you want to hear the bees? I think that's probably it, right? And why can't I hear this landmark going down? I feel like my sounds are a little bit weird at the moment. Anybody else? Anyone else notice that? I noticed that. I noticed that, Drongo. All right, let's check in on this south side B. Not aging up just yet. In fact, he's just pumping units. We can see he's got plenty of units in queue. And towards the middle of the map, have a look at this. With Baltoon aging up, the Red Palace is going to take some time to get up here. He's going to be really careful. That's not a lot of villagers that are in the middle to build that. And if that gets spotted out, even by, say, a single clock tower, you could be in a really tough spot. But he's going to try and get it up. Mr. B's firing off once again. Why am I not hearing that, dude? That is kind of... It's throwing me off. Is my sound just bugged? Maybe my game is bugged. Maybe I gotta restart my game. Hold on, guys. Give me a second here. I gotta restart my game. Gosh, I shouldn't say that. You know, one time I was... it wasn't actually that long ago. It was a couple weeks ago, actually. I was casting, and a thunderstorm was about to happen. And I was like, you know, we'll see how we go. And in the cast, I was talking about the thunderstorm, and I was like cursing the thunderstorm, saying, "Don't you dare turn off my electricity, because if you do, you're going to corrupt my video file, and I can't recover it, and then you know it's gone forever if I don't finish, right? Like I have to finish. Once I hit the button, then that's fine. It'll save it. It'll do all of its stuff. But if I don't hit the button, then it's not going to happen. And with like, I think 3 minutes left in the game. Yeah, the thunder struck, just like the great band AC/DC. The thunder struck, and I lost power, and I lost the game, and I was just... I think all I could really do was smile at that point. All right, we got ourselves a little bit of an attack over here on the west side. Nothing worse than having this thing happen, because there's no real way that you can prevent this wall from coming down. You can try and get some repairs in, but you can see that it's going to expose these villagers now. Could look to try and get a little bit of reinforcements through. The other alternative is you can try and get a secondary wall on the back, but with the outpost here, it's going to make it so difficult. So he will have to concede a couple of villages just to keep the wall alive. Pretty well played there by B. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think that wall was going to stay up. He managed to do that very well. Baltoon now going to be taking map control. Keep in mind, Imperial Age is through. He was successful here. And we do see in the middle of the map, the Red Palace now looking to provide that aura to these stables, looking to reduce the cost of these Royal Knights. And keep in mind, they do now have their elite upgrades through. These are pretty much fully upgraded. Keep in mind, they have that +3 damage coming through, +3 melee damage. Also a little bit of ranged armor. No melee armor just yet. Look at this. Not even fitted leatherwork coming through. Feels bad, man. On the other side, it looks like we have got insulated helm, I want to say, on the way. Yeah, insulated helm. Look at that. Drongo knows. I've only been playing this game for, what, 2.5 years? Yeah, I know, guys. I know. Plenty of ills on the gold in the middle. Have a look at this. probably want to throw down a couple more mining camps, especially considering you pay a reduced amount for them. Where are they? There they are. You pay a reduced amount for them, and have a look at the walking distance on these little guys down here. Like, this is just ludicrous how far these guys are going to walk. This one. This is the one I'm watching. All right. Well, you just ruined it, Battering. I don't know what's your deal, mate. I don't know what your deal is. I'm watching here. Nesta B numbers are rising though. Look at this B. He's up to 4 Nesta Bs. Not a bad little spot here. And you can see that in this situation, he has waited for his opponent to go Imperial, and then he's been cleared for takeoff. And I think that's definitely the right call from him. Very aware of the fact he may go down. Now, where this gets difficult for B is he cannot allow his opponent to max. If he allows his opponent to max to 200 population, there's a really good chance he does not win this game. B needs to push, and he needs to maintain aggression from this position. And the reason why is very simple. B's army is made up of spears and crossbows. Both of them take 1 population, and both of them are very, very cheap compared to the Royal Knight. And the problem is, if you're playing up against the French and you let them cook, they're going to cook up 25, 30, 35 Royal Knights, which, if you think about it right, if I asked you, what wins? 1 elite Royal Knight, fully upgraded with Royal Bloodlines and +3 upgrades and biology. Actually, it already has biology. It's got Royal Bloodlines. Versus a Spearman that's also fully upgraded. Well, I mean, technically, this one's a veteran Spearman, but let's say it's fully upgraded. Which one wins? The answer is clear. It is obviously the Royal Knight. And the problem is, it takes the same population as the Spearman. So you have to be really, really careful about your fights. One of the things that you can do is bring your production forward. So we can, if we take a look at B right now and check his production, you can see he's only got 6 Raxes, 6 archery ranges, which isn't it isn't the best. So I would be saying to B, you know, you want to be spamming out a heap of Raxes at this stage, and you want to be putting them towards the front. That way, when they do die, your Spearmen, you're able to reinforce immediately, and it means that hopefully you should be able to deal with those Royal Knights. We'll have to see exactly how it goes. It looks like Battering was trying to secure, over on this east side, this gold vein. But B has managed to get a keep online. Have a look at this, though. Fortification will come through, and then moving into a Springald emplacement. But there is plenty of units out here, and I think this could be where our next fight may begin. We'll have to wait and see if we can spot out that army of his opponent. Looks like we've got a couple of archers that are making our way over here. Things are slowly moving from that top side down. Battering not going to be thinking about it. He gets the fortification through, but not able to find anything more. Now we've got stone walls beginning to come up, and definitely the right call here in this matchup. One of the big factors is going to be those raids that come through inevitably from either Royal Knights or from the Horsemen, because the French love to go into the Horsemen as well. A really, really annoying unit to deal with. But upgrades are continuing to come in, and we can see Battering is working towards that maximum population, but he's doing a pretty decent job here of making sure he's got map control, making sure that he's on the move, he's mobile. Hopefully he's picking up his upgrades, and we can see right now he is indeed. It's going to be Master Smiths that will be coming through here as well for him. Going to pick up absolutely every upgrade. And do we have more Raxes coming in? Because Moraxes... Was Moraxes a Pokemon? Moraxes. No. Hon? Dota 2. Moraxes. We have more Raxes coming in. No, we don't. We don't have any more Raxes, Drongo. That is a Dota hero. But hopefully we have more Raxes soon, because that ain't enough. That ain't enough. Numbers looking pretty decent here. Both players now going to look to try and focus down on this north side. Nesta B's firing off. Nothing to deal with them just yet. He's looking just to tank up the front here. Horseman going to be running around the back. Nesta B's firing off, and still a distinct lack of units here. What is going on? It looks like B going to be able to overwhelm his opponent here. Springald's firing off towards those Bs on the backside, but he loses out all of the army, and I don't even think he's got upgrades through on those archers. Just a distinct lack of units here, and just B doing the right thing, forcing that fight before his opponent can reach that maximum population threshold. And now it's a really difficult spot here for Battering, because Battering is down on population. And the fight from here is only uphill. Keep in mind that he has conceded over one of the golds here. Second gold on the front is beginning to run out. He's got the one in the back as well. There's 4K on that bad boy. But still, it's one of those things where we need to be really careful about this. I think the most important thing for Battering right now is not fighting. I think in his position, what he wants to do is just max out. You don't want to be picking fights here, especially in this situation. Let's check in on that south side, though, and see. Okay, we do now finally have those additional Raxes getting added in. So it looks like he will be going up to 11 Raxes. Definitely the right call. Honestly, I'd be tempted at putting down like another 10 Raxes at this point and just getting heaps of spears in queue. Outpost going to get cleared out. B losing a little bit of line of sight. Still more outposts over on that east side. Go towards the west. It's a classic standoff between two monks. I think that's one of the internet's early versions of a podcast, wasn't it? Between two monks. I'm just trolling. It's between two fans. They had a fan on the left and a fan on the right. I am such a dad. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was. My mum was. My mum's down because my mum isn't. I don't live in the same city as my mum, so I don't get to see her often. But anyway, I was telling her about AI and all that good stuff, and she's like, "Oh, that's cool. You know, that sounds fun." And I'm like, "Yeah, here, look at this, Chat GPT." And she was like, "Oh, damn." You know what I was showing her? That Chat GPT could just like give me dad jokes. I was like, "Hey, give me a dad joke," and it was just like, "Here's a dad joke." And I just type in another one. Like, I was pretending to be DJ Khaled. I had it on, like, copy-paste. Another one. And I just kept telling her these jokes. And she was loving it. She was like, these are amazing. She was cracking up. I don't know if I'm just, I'm just her son. And she's like, well, we gotta laugh at my son's jokes because, he's my son, right? Like, you're gonna laugh at your son's jokes. But they were pretty good dad jokes, actually. Anyway, we did see a little bit of a delete come through. It looks like crossbows, maybe a couple of Jukunu that were deleted. Definitely the right call, looking to replace them for Handcannoniers, especially in the late game now that you've got access to the Handcannoniers, and not just any Handcannoneer, the best Handcannoneer in the game. That is the Chinese Handcannoneer with that extra little bit of range, but Military now coming out. No Gambesons just yet, either for Battering. Numbers are building. He's up to 185 population. Plenty of resources in the bank. Now going to be beginning. Oh my god, so many bees for Battering. Careful, Battering. Pushing through. We still don't have elite archers coming through just yet. Spears together with those palace guards now coming forward. Big shots coming through. And at the same time, towards the top side, we've got plenty of spears making their way here. What's going on with Battering's army? He's just not maxing. I don't know why he's not maxing or why he's not fighting when he's not maxed out, because he should have 20 more units here. Imagine if there's 20 spears. It's a different fight. Trying his best now to take out that siege on the back line. He's going to put all of his units together so they run a little bit slower. I hate that bug. It's not even a bug. It's an intended design. But once again, just getting completely rinsed by B in the late game here. And B's looking incredibly strong as he continues to push forward. Going to be able to take down that cannon. Wood line on the front will get threatened here. Keep in mind, he does have a little bit of wood towards that back side. We do see him working towards it. Stone walls also going to be coming up towards that top side just to secure it. And Handcannoniers now working with the spears to deal with that difficult combo that's on the other side. The Arbaletier together with the Horsemen. It's an interesting combo, and I think that's probably the right combo to go for, because the Arbaletier will deal effectively with either the Spearmen or the Palace Guards, and then the Horsemen will be hopefully able to take out the Handcannoniers, and they'll do so much more effectively than the Knights, because not only do they get that bonus damage, but there's also technically more of them because they are cheaper. Arbaletier teeing off towards that army, and we can hear the spam now starting to come out. It's B. He's just maxing out non-stop. You can see how many units he's got in queue. Up to 25 Handcannoniers. Might have to think about going into a Mangonel to deal with all of these Handcannoniers, though. Let's see, do we have any in queue? Doesn't look like it. He's got a Springwood in queue at the moment. Keep in mind, Sacred Victory is actually on the cards. Something I hadn't called out. One of them's completely walled off over on that west side. The central, I say central in air quotes, the central Sacred side over here does have a keep on it. And then over towards the east side, we've got another keep here. B's in a solid spot. We could have a Sacred Victory on the cards here today. Baltoon's going to get an opportunity to remax here. I'm not sure why. Or he is pushing it. Hold on. Can we check on the production of Baltoon? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. A little bit of a round coming here. Yo, wait, down around the side. Come on, over here. Not going to be able to find it. Handcannoniers, though, teeing off on all of that cavalry. Not even close. Springs firing down. He's going to be able to handle it. Nesta B is beginning to move up. Will lose its life. I think it's a clock tower. It's got a little bit more health than the average bear. Those Handcannoniers are really problematic. Second Nesta B is now coming out from that gate, and the push continues to shove. Lots of spam making its way through B. Now with plenty of production, we hear all of those units coming out. He's continuing the spam here. We can see he's up to 13 barracks, 12 archery rangers, spamming a whole bunch of hand cannoneers. He's got 45 on the field at the moment. In fact, he says that's all we need, Drongo. We don't need any more in queue. We're just going to spam out spears and all the other good stuff, and now going to do the right thing, the battering rams. This is what I often find myself doing in the late game, especially as the Chinese. It feels so difficult to get siege out to attack positions with the Chinese, just because it takes time, and we'll worry about that later, Drongo, because the hand cannoneers are out here fighting. We do have the bombard coming through. It can be tough trying to find 3 population, though. Just with the amount of spam that you've got going on there, you just refill your population so quickly. So battering rams are nice because they only take 1 population. So if you can find space, you will be able to get it. But 3 minutes now until sacred victory for B. He is holding on. In this situation, the rams are still yet to come up, and now looking to push forward. Springald's able to take out that bombard before any damage gets dealt. Hand cannoneers, once again, teeing off on that front line. The horsemen are just running in non-stop, and the numbers are starting to fall. He's managed to take out about 13, 14 so far. Keep now going to be thrown down on the backside. B finding his way. Also has a gold over towards the east side. He's loving life right now. Feeling very good about himself, but the hand cannoneer numbers are starting to fall. He's taken out another 6 of them. It's been a slow and steady push or decline. Battering just pumping non-stop. You can see he's actually got plenty of resources in the bank, probably enough for another 20 horsemen. It's just about production, though. He just needs to actually get units onto the field to be able to challenge this sacred site towards that top side. Now we see that Battung's going to be losing out on this stone. There's only 282 left on it, but I tell you what, B won't mind. He's got 1,800 in the bank, which is plenty, and now finally Battung makes himself known. 2 minutes until sacred victory, he says, all right, you know, we can safely take this sacred site right now. B is down to 168 population. This is starting to get a little bit worrisome for him. Now, keep in mind, he's got a slight villager advantage. When it comes to relics, they're pretty even Stevens on that one. I think right now, Battung, you just want to get on that sacred site, please. Can we get a couple of units over there? Even just all of these units, just get them over there on the sacred site, and then you can worry about doing the rest. Because when you've got all these hand cannoneers that are building up, keep in mind, he's got a lot of archery rangers back there. Battung, you got to be careful, my friend. Look at the eco numbers. Eco numbers not looking the best. And now behind this, we see villager on villager action. I hadn't searched for it recently, but it seems like they've decided to bring it out. I will welcome that as long as we keep it all family friendly. Didn't find a spot back there to actually throw another keep down. Can always be the hardest part. Now, bombard on the backside. Hand cannoneers going up against those arbalatriers. It's the golden arbalatrier up against the golden hats. Why are we not taking the sacred site? And finally, Battung's like, oh shit! We got to take the sacred site. Yeah, you got to take the sacred site. But now what do we do? Because the cannon emplacement is firing down upon us, and we've lost all of our units because we went and fought up against the walls. Battung, did you just throw this game? Oh, please don't tell me he's actually thrown this game. Oh, he's actually thrown this game. He actually threw this game. Okay, he's neutralizing the sacred site. Hold on. But look at the cannon emplacement. It's firing down here. He's not going to be able to hold it for too much longer. And now that starts to tick again. 34 seconds, 33 seconds. We can see it continuing to go. Battung, look at the numbers that he's got. Oh, he's just going to tap out. He says it's too much. I'm not going to be able to do it. Unfortunately, Battung having to tap out. He 100% could have neutralized that sacred site, in my opinion. In my honest opinion. Is it in my humble opinion? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, go check out EGC TV this weekend, 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday, and be on the lookout for that brand new hit single from Drongo.